Hello, everyone, and we're back for another episode here. This one, special episode, and what we're doing is we're going to be covering Boston and how much they improved over the draft and leading up to the draft. So, quite a bit to take in, so let's just get right into it here. So, um, coming in, we have Barzell, Makar, Petrangelo, Hoffman, Haig, McCann, Lafreniere, Stutzel, Askarov, Howden, Manson, a 2020 LA first, a 2020 third round pick in the first of the third round, and then a second in 2021. So, in comparison, what he has going out is McAvoy, Caulfield, Sanderson, Amirov, Farabee, Mercer, Bernard Docker, Gunler, Vakanainen, his 2021 first next year, Granlund, Norlinder, Struble, Howrlich, and Gillies. And so the best thing I think we can do here is kind of just go tick for tat in terms of the value and see if he came out or not on top. So if you can do this, I think Makar and McAvoy can cross out one for one. Um, just because McAvoy is going to take over Boston's number one power play. And I think that Boston power play is just as lethal as the Colorado one. Uh, just bound to get points. So McAvoy pretty much crossed out. So next, Barzal. Um, what would you say? What would you even trade for this Barzal on this list? Maybe his first next year. Um, Farabee and Sanderson. So that could get rid of Barzal. Petrangelo. We can say Caulfield and get rid of him. Bernard Docker. Hoffman. We could go something like that. We can maybe trade him for Mercer, Granlund, Haig, something like Struble. And then I don't even know, like Howden for Gillies and Howrlich. And so I mean, Stutzel Askarov. So Boston brought in a lot of value um, this draft, and doing it just like this is hard to really see the impact it had on his roster. So what I did here is, okay, I did it the wrong way. That's fine. I'm going to do it. Okay, fuck. God damn, every fucking time. Every time I make an episode. Okay, so if you can just focus here. So if we just, I probably should just focus on this. I should have practiced one before. Of course it doesn't want to stick. Oh, that's not even Velcro. Okay, so if we just look at Boston's roster now, so what did they bring in? They have a first line. So what you see in red is new. Um, this is the full outbreak look of the roster. Black is what they had before. And then I'm just going to do some highlighting here of what's important to notice about Boston's roster. So important to note, they got a first line left wing, second line left wing, first line center, first line right winger, and then they really thickened out the roster here in terms of forward depth. So Howden, McCann, pretty good. And then this is really important here. They brought in two one deep pairing defenders, and if you follow my YouTube page, uh, you'll notice that both were top 10 scoring defenders in terms of fantasy points. So very important. Subban bound for a rebound. So altogether, this is like his prospect list kind of thing here. So before I do the altogether, so he still has quite a bit in terms of trade capital. So first line, I'd say that's pretty nice. Maybe not this year, but next year. Second line, I think that's pretty nice too. But the thing about Boston here is this guy's a rookie. This guy's a rookie. This guy's a rookie. Um, this guy's really young. Gautier's a rookie. He's still learning his. So there's a lot of guys still learning the ropes here on this team. So moving into the next season, he's going to definitely do a lot better. How can't you when you bring in that much talent? The thing is, will he be competing for a playoff spot right off the hop? And so I think part two will be better when I will have I'll have 3 team rosters here, kind of like this. And one will be LA, the other one will be the 8th seed or the number 2 seed in the wild card last year. And then Boston's roster now. So that would be something to work towards in terms of making the playoffs, like the ideal situation. And then the next one would be how does he compare to the overall position in the league, which is I think will be done pretty nicely. Just looking at this roster in terms of what I think I'm going to uncover when I look at it and then relate it to the other teams. Just initial impression, he's got solid minutes in net, but it's not going to win you any weeks on its own. The important thing is the number 1 center, 2 number 1 D, and then contributors throughout the lineup. So hopefully Stützle plays in the NHL. If not, then he's kind of got an open spot to fill. So maybe Frolik, pretty thin here. And in terms of like, if you're looking at someone like Boston or a Buffalo, I believe has McKinnon, Pasternak, and then Braden Point. So if you're going to compare this roster to even Buffalo, quite a lot to make up in terms of ground needing to be made. And then they have Leonard and net. So where's that roster in terms of respect to Buffalo? I mean, the pieces are there. I think you just need a little bit more time. I mean, Makar is probably going to be the most important defender in the league this year. So having him. The thing about Boston is he's already in cap trouble. Take a look at it. A lot of players need new contracts even this year and next year. So interesting to see what Boston does coming up. But next part 2 will be comparing Boston to second wild card and LA. Let's see how teams are looking now in terms of respect of what's going on in the league here. And yeah, Boston break.